Okay, let's start it. Let me share my screen with you.
Okay. One thing I will say, Zion, is that, even with
Mhm.
Okta, right? The main way that I've learned a lot of these tools is by being as hands-on as possible.
Yeah,
So as much as possible, let me be as hands-on with it. Let me
yeah,
click the
yeah,
buttons,
sure.
let me do the configurations, let me click around, whatever it may be. Whenever you can think of
Yeah,
making it hands-on, just let me do the work myself as much as you can.
100%, 100% true. Yeah. Sure.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, let's get started first. Last time we discussed about the outline, and now starting with the very basics related to AWS and DevOps introduction, and then we go to our main topic, which is Git and GitHub, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I will try to do more practical, and you will try to do practical by yourself. So that's really easy for you, and you do assignment really easily, right?
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, starting with the AWS and DevOps introduction. So if I ask you a question, what is AWS, then what is your answer?
What was the question one more time? I'm sorry.
What is AWS?
Um, AWS is Amazon Web Services. It is Amazon's cloud environment, along with many other services that they provide for
Do
various
you know
things, storing
the
data.
do you know the main purpose of the AWS? Why the Amazon created the AWS, AWS cloud platform? What is the need for it?
To store information on the cloud. So businesses don't have to store their information on their hard drives at their
Yeah.
physical company locations.
So basically the basic need to create AWS cloud platform are to store our data in the cloud platform that provide us many facilities like availability, scalability, and other things, right?
Right.
And it is also provide us to get rid of hardware of managing on-prem servers and other things, right? And the second one is DevOps. What is the actual need of the DevOps?
DevOps is what? Development operations, right?
Yeah, development operation, but what is the need of creating that particular field, or what is the DevOps engineer? Do you know about it?
They're basically people that assist, do configurations to make put all the infrastructure and pieces together to share and store information, um,
So
you know,
basically the DevOps as a
transfer
DevOps.
data, that kind of stuff.
Yes. So basically, the DevOps engineer are the responsible of establishing or maintaining the good relationship between the developer and operation team, right?
Right.
And the most of the work DevOps engineer work on automation, right? They will try to do automate their application process. They will try to do automate the process of deployment or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, being a DevOps engineer, you have to learn more about tools, more about infrastructure as a code to do much automation as possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the next one is most of the job description. This is the JD of most of the companies in the US that demands or opening for AWS engineer place in their company, and they demand this type of the skills, right? First, they are demanding the GitLab, CI/CD, and after they are demanding for third-party tools like Terraform, CloudFormation, and also talking about the monitoring performance or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just collect the JD for only that purpose that we are aligned into the true direction, right? And I made the plan according to this JDs, right? And you must have an experience in the infrastructure as a code or in the Terraform in CloudFormation in Ansible, right? It is
Mm-hmm.
not possible to cover all of the DevOps tool, right? But
Mm-hmm.
the main one or which is the company are mainly forced to do these tools, we are going to focus on it, right? For example, CloudFormation, Terraform, CDK, right? And in monitoring term, we are mainly focused on the AWS CloudWatch, right? Prometheus is the third party tool, and Azure Monitor is for only Azure Cloud, right? Uh, because we are running for the AWS, that's why we are focused on AWS CloudWatch. That is the most useful monitoring tool for the AWS. And after that, we are going to learn about already discussed, we have experience with the running containerized service like Docker, Kubernetes, ECS, and Azure AKS, or we can say the AWS EKS, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we are going to learn all about these things, right?
Right.
And the most of the important thing, if you want to pursue your career as a DevOps engineer in the future, then you must have an AWS certification, right? So it is really need of to do certification related to AWS. You can start it with the AWS Associate certification, then go to the professional, and then go to the super one, right? So first of all, you should have a path how to do these certifications. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when we are going to complete our course, then I will give you a tips, or I will share the question and answer, or maybe the MCQs that is really focused on these certifications, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you will be able to do this certificate maybe in 15 to 20 days, right?
That easy? You
And
think so?
sorry,
You think it's that easy?
yeah, it's easy.
Kiflik
No
bakal
problem.
ada.
No problem at
কিসের
all.
দল আমার? ফুটবল। ব্রাজিলের আর্জেন্টিনাতে খেলা হচ্ছে কেন?
Sorry, Rafi, there is background noise.
It's coming from Sabir. Sorry, I muted him. It's fine.
Okay, okay. Okay, should I proceed now?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the guidance which I will provide at the end, how you earn AWS certification. Start with the associate level, and then you can do the CDA exam, right? CDA means Certified Developer Associate AWS.
Okay.
This is the exam that relate to the DevOps, and after completing this certification, you will be able to do the DevOps professional, right? And next we go the very basic definitions. AWS, Amazon Web Services, that we already discussed. What is the purpose of creating the AWS? It is a cloud computing platform that provides the facility of scalability, storage, database, application services, right? And also the main advantages is like eliminating the need to purchase and maintain physical hardware, right? Do you know what is the on-prem servers or on-prem storages?
Yeah, it's on your premises, meaning it's in your physical, data
Yeah,
warehouses, and
yeah.
could be in your
And
office, could be.
let's suppose if you have 100 of the servers, then how you can manage it?
If you have 100 servers, how could you manage it?
Yes.
Well, there's several ways. One would be that you could have your own data on-prem warehouse where you have basically giant facilities with bunch of servers sitting there, or you could buy server space across multiple locations where you may, rent out space in a server that's located in various locations, and you can
So
spread out your bandwidth.
so to managing this type of the hardware and storage, you have to broad your team, hiring the maintenance managers and their teams, hiring the lot of the people that only manages that softwares or hardwares or other type of resources like. So, and it is
Right.
really the hectic task. You have to sit down for the 24 hours to manage your services, right?
Right.
But in the case of the AWS, you cannot manage your servers, your database. All of the things are managed by AWS, right? You just need to focus on your application and their code.
It
And the
basically
other,
saves you from having to do all the physical maintenance of those servers, right? By
yes,
having it on the cloud.
yes. And also, it cut off your cost, right?
Right.
And the third one is the AWS services. The most useful services of the AWS are EC2. EC2 is something like a server, right?
Mm-hmm.
That let's suppose we have a machine, it is also a server, right? So there
Mm-hmm.
are different names of the server. We call server and EC2 instance. We call server as a node. We call server as a computer or a PC or something like that, right? But EC2 instance is not a physical server, it is a virtual server, right? Which is located on AWS. And S3 is something like a bucket which is used to store the file and folder, right? We are going to discuss in our next topics very briefly, right? All of that services. RDS is our database, which is relational database, means the SQL, right? And this fourth one is VPC. Do you know what is VPC? That's the very important concept of the AWS. Maybe you
Virtual,
know.
private, something, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Virtual private cloud. Whenever you want to create any resource on AWS, you
I don't know what
have
is
to.
VPC.
Okay, I am done. I am telling you. So whenever you want to
Hello?
create any, hello,
Zion, you cut out for like 30 seconds.
hello.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now you can hear me.
Yes.
So I'm talking about the VPC. So basically, this is the very main service of the AWS Virtual Private Cloud. Whenever you want to create any AWS service, you have to create the VPC first, right? Most of the services
What
are
does VPC
reside
stand for again? What does that stand for?
Virtual Private Cloud, right?
Virtual private cloud?
Yeah, Virtual Private Cloud, and it is an Amazon service. I am audible for you.
Yeah, it's not you. It's my internet here is really bad. Unfortunately, it's very spotty, so it's going in and out a lot. Unfortunately.
Okay.
If it's
Okay,
really
you
bad, I'll switch to
can.
my hotspot, but let's keep going for now.
Okay, you can tell me. I am repeating myself. Okay, don't worry.
Yeah, maybe the video. I turned off my video. That might help.
Yeah. Okay, so I am telling you that the VPC is the virtual private cloud that really the main service in the AWS that provide the facility to secure our overall infrastructure, right? Let's suppose I give you a task, you have to create a whole infrastructure for your application, right? So for whole application, you have to create some instances, some database, or some security groups or some other services, right? All of these services are residing in the VPC, right? So we can say the VPC is something like a whole container or something like whole box in which your other part of the AWS services are located, right? And it provide the security and ensure that all of that services are really secure and you can manage it by yourself, right? How what type of the management we can do by using the VPC? Let's suppose if you
What
want.
type of management we can do by using the what?
Yeah,
VPC?
what type of the management you can do with the VPC is that let's suppose you
Hello?
want. Hello.
Yes. What was the question? I'm sorry. Repeat that again.
I am not giving you a question. I am just relate that VPC according to some relationship, right? VPC basically, if someone asks you, hey, you have to deploy your application on VPC. You created your whole application in that particular VPC, right? Now, what is the actual or what is the purpose or what is the advantage of using the VPC is that whenever some person enter into your cloud infrastructure, you have full access to block this access or give this access, right? If some of your friend wants EC2 instances, yeah, right? And so you can give access of that VPC, then the whole AWS services that are located in that VPC will be accessible to him, right? Or if you want some other person to
Hello?
note, yeah, hello, Rafi. I
Yeah.
think,
If it happens again, I'm gonna switch my internet, but let's try one last time.
okay.
So
So
basically, one example of
yeah.
a VPC would be like, Azure. Microsoft Azure is a VPC, AWS is a VPC, Google
Yeah, Azure
Cloud is a
has a
VPC.
VPC, but maybe in Azure term, maybe it is different name, but in AWS we call this virtual private cloud, right? And then we have IAM permission. IAM is identity access management. It is like AWS service who manages your user access, services access, right? And you have manages the different roles in that service. And do you know the AWS has different data centers across the 26 regions? Could you
Yes,
name
I knew that.
could could
Yes.
you name some region names where the data centers are located?
Um, I'm sure they have them in the all over the US, San
Okay, there
Francisco, New
are
York, LA.
yeah, there are some of the data centers are located in USA. One is North Virginia and one is in California, right? And some of the data centers are located on the different regions, like in India, in the Mumbai region, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in the Singapore, right? So they have different 20, whole 26 region all over the world. And do you know what is the purpose of creating the 26 region or different region all over the world? Why they are not creating whole data center in one place like in US?
Well, to diversify the risk, right? If something happens in the US, everything shuts down, then they're still going to be running. Or if there's a physically and there's any kind of attack on the land, any
Yes,
damage
definitely,
because of
definitely.
natural
So
disaster,
basically, it
etc.
provide us, yes. So basically, it provide us the fault tolerance and high availability and very low latency, right?
Yes.
Overall the world, right? And the other purpose is that, for example, if your application are running all over the world, like Facebook, right? So Facebook is accessed by USA, Singapore, Pakistan, India, and other countries as well, right? So for speed up that process, to give more user accessibility, Facebook use the different data centers of the AWS for this, right? So this provide the better experience for the user. And next, if we go to the advantages that we already discussed, it cut off our cost, it provides us a massive economies of the scale, increase speed and agility, spending money on running and maintaining data centers, global in minutes, stop gassing capacity, right? So this is the main advantages we already discussed related to AWS cloud computing or using the AWS, right?
Mhm.
And that's the main image of, hey, Rafi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So AWS cloud infrastructure, this is the same. We have data centers and then we have availability zones and then we have different type of the regions that located at the different place, right? Like in Singapore, there are three regions, one A, one B, and one C. And also there are different availability zone is basically the data centers, right? Where the whole of the physical servers are located.
What does AZ
And
mean? Oh,
easy
availability zone.
means,
Okay.
yeah, availability zone, and in availability zone, actually their data centers are located, right?
Right.
And the second thing, there is how does it work? So if you want to work with the AWS, first of all, you have to buy an account. You can also use the free tier of the AWS, no problem at all, right? So you can go to the AWS and after going to the AWS, if you don't have an account, you can create it, right? So first of all, you go to the sign up, and after doing the sign up, you just need to give your card detail, and it on your free tier, right? So you can also create some of the services in the free tier, which you don't have to bear the cost for it, right?
Mhm.
And the next thing is that three ways to interact with AWS, right? One is AWS management console. Like we sign in on AWS and we create the services by using the console, right? AWS console. And the second thing is CLI. You already know about what is the CLI? Do you know?
AWS command line interface.
Simple CLI. What is CLI?
It's basically, I mean, I'm just taking a guess, but I would assume it's something like the command prompt on your computer, except it's basically for those online databases and things like that,
Yeah.
so you can run queries
In
and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, in PC, there are two ways to interact with your Windows or PC. One is by using the clicking the button, that is our console, and the second one is CLI, right? If I want to create a folder, if I want to open that folder, we can also do this by using the command line interface. For
Right.
example, if I open my command prompt, right? So this is the command prompt, this is the CLI interface, right? If I
Right.
want to check in which current directory currently I have, so I use the dir command. So it gives me whole bunch of the directories, right? AWS batch history or something like that. And I can do this for same by going to that particular folder, right? So
Right.
there are two ways to interact with the things. One is console and other is CLI, right? So same for the AWS, you can create your services or you can assess your services by two methods. One is console and second one is CLI. And the third one is SDK. This is the software development kit. This is rarely used, but we can be discussed. It is not really important, but the two ways that a console and the CLI are really important, right?
Mm-hmm.
And after that, what is the DevOps is? DevOps is a software development methodology, like, and I already tell you it provides the collaboration between the developers and the operation team using the various automation tools. And the various automation tool means using the CloudFormation, using the Jenkins, using the CDK, using the Docker, using the Kubernetes. All of these tools are the automation tool that provide us the facility of automation, right? CI/CD, that's all of the stuff are provide the DevOps person to make his work more automated, right? And
And also,
yeah.
does this also include QA automation tools? Like there's some tools out there, with the
Okay, there
QA that you would
are,
do,
yeah,
you
yeah.
can automate a lot of that as well. It'll just
Okay,
automate
let me tell you. There are two ways to doing this, automate the process of the QA testing. One way is to automate the testing by using the third-party DevOps tool, and the second one is manual testing, right?
Right.
So you can set in your pipeline. If you want to do the manual testing, then there's some person who check who's the actually the QA person who checks your code, and after checking the code, it just click approve, and then your code is moved to the next week, right?
Mhm.
So it depends upon your requirement. Actually, if your organization need the manual testing, then you have to set your pipeline according to it. If they want to do automated testing, then you can also do it by using the DevOps tool, right?
Mhm.
And the other thing is the development life cycle. So this is the CI/CD. We have the whole bunch of service. If you can see here, CI/CD. We are
Mhm.
going to spend the 6 lecture on it. So there is no need to discuss now. And also this is the same CI/CD, right? So let's move to our main topic, which is AWS, Git, and GitHub, right? So maybe you have some knowledge related to Git and GitHub. You can tell me that what is Git and what is GitHub?
Um, GitHub is a cloud-based repository mainly used by developers to store their code, share their projects, put everything and organize everything and you know,
Yeah.
in basically in a repository. But mostly
Yes.
developers are using it to store code, share code with the public, etc.
Okay, so main difference between the Git and GitHub is Git is a version control system, right? What does it mean by the version control system? The version control system is actually storing our different type of the commits, right? Let's
Mhm.
suppose if I change anything in my code, and after changing, you have to commit your code, right? Commit mean screenshot your code or save your code, right? So if I do the commit, then Git automatically store that commit, right? And
Mm.
if after that, if I do more changes in my code, then after that changes, you have to again commit your code, right? So
Right.
now we have two commits. If I want to move to the previous version of the commit, I can do easily that. So the Git provides us that facility of controlling the versions of your application very easily, right? And what is the GitHub is? GitHub is basically the platform, right? That provide us the facility of Git, right? To create your repository, sync with your repository, or clone your repository, push your code in the GitHub, right? So this is the organization, or we can say a tool that provide us the Git facilities. So starting with the Git, we have a Git. Git is a version control system. And what is the purpose of using the Git? It is really popular and free, open source, and fast and scalable, right? So we don't need to pay for a Git to using it. We can easily use it. It's free version, and most of the developer are going to use this free version because it is free and open source and fast and scalable. And after
Makes
that we
sense.
have, yeah, and after that we have GitHub website that allow developers to store and manage their code using Git that we already discussed. Now go to the hands-on. If I want to create any type of the thing, so first of all you have to install the GitHub in your machine, right? So do you install the GitHub in your local machine, or do you have an account on GitHub?
Yes, I do. I don't have it on my machine, but I have the web version.
Okay, so let me tell you how you can install or sign up with the GitHub. If you can go to the main GitHub website, right? So github.com. So here are the GitHub, which is our website. So you can do the sign up if you already sign up. So let me tell you how you can do sign up. So you have to just give your email, password, and after that you have to give the username and just press continue. And there's some of the other things he will ask you. You just go and just tick, 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 and after that you are able to create your GitHub account, right?
Right.
So if you don't have, you can create one. If you already have, you just need to click on sign in. That is my account, and this is my email, and this is my password, and you just click on sign in, right? So if you click on sign in, here are the console interface, or we can say the bunch of the repositories that I created by myself, and this is my profile username with the name of Zen M3898, right?
Mhm.
So this is the GitHub, how you can install it. You can install it really easily, right? So this is the GUI interface, means graphical user interface. If I want the GitHub CLI interface, then do you know how I can do it?
Repeat the question one more time.
So I am asking if you want to do push some code in the GitHub by using your local machine or local CLI command line interface. Do you know how you
I
can do it?
I don't know how it connects to your local machine. I've never done that before. I've only done it on the web.
Okay, okay, don't worry, we can do it in the lecture. So first of all, you
I
have to
would imagine
install.
you'd probably,
Hello, hello.
yeah, Zain.
Yeah,
I would think that in order to be able to do that, you would need to have GitHub.
yeah.
Maybe there's an app for it or something that you would
Yes,
connect and log
you.
in to, which would connect to your
Yeah,
local database
you
on your
need
local
this
machine.
git bash, right? You can check if you have git bash. This is this provide us the facility of the git, right? So if you don't install the git bash, you can really easily install it. You can check it in your computer if you have git
Install it.
bash. It is already installed.
Hello?
Yeah, yeah, I have it. It is installed in your machine.
Zain, hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am audible now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I am asking you, you can check in your machine if you have Git bash installed. Hello, Rafi.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Okay, just check. Go to your search bar and just search for git bash.
It's the red one with the like the neurons
Uh,
sign, right?
I am just open it. Here you can see that. If you can click on the git bash, here this type the interface are going to be open.
Are you on Windows or Mac? You're on a MacBook?
I am on a window.
Oh, Windows. Okay. Why doesn't mine?
So if you the other way to check the GitHub git bash is installed or not, you can go to any your terminal and write the git minus minus version, right? Like in that
Let
case,
me share
if
my
I
screen. Let me show you what I'm seeing.
okay, here is my zone. Okay, this one. Okay, are you sharing your screen?
Sure. I'll start. No. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see.
This is not it, right?
Yeah, this is it. Do you go to your search bar, yeah, and write the git bash. Just write the git on. Remove bash. Yeah. Okay. You don't have a git bash right now, but you can check by going to your command terminal. Go to your terminal. This is the window. Yeah. Go to
Yeah.
command prompt, and you can write the git space minus minus version.
Like that?
Version. VER minus minus version.
Minus version?
No, not write the minus, just give add dash margin. Yeah. So you don't have Git install in your local machine, so you have to do it, right? So how we can do it? Just minimize the screen. Go to your browser. Yeah, you have to download for it. Go to window. Hey, yeah. This website. You just click on Windows. Down and go to downloads. Here you can see. Yeah, just click on Windows. Yeah. Download for Windows. Yeah, and you can install. Click here to download. First one. Yeah, just click on.
Why does yours and mine look different? Your looks like it's like a different logo and everything.
No, when it going to be installed, it looks the same, right? Because I already installed in my machine. So when it going to be installed in your machine, it looks different, right? It looks
Okay.
same. Yeah, just go to next. Hold on. Okay. Just click on this on the desktop. So it will be located on your text. First, second one option. Yeah. Next. Go to next. Okay. Go to next. Go to next. Override the default brand name for the new repo. Let Git decide. Currently master. Many teams already rename the default branches. Common chooses main trunk to element. Specific container should use for the initial branch. Okay. The setting does not vary. Okay, go to next. You can go with the default, right? And use Git from command line and third-party software. Use Git. First, okay, go to the second one. Second one is good. Go to next. Go to next. Go to next. 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 Okay, next. Install. Okay. Okay, click on finish.
Launch it.
Yeah, launch it. Click on launch. Otherwise, we have other option to make. Yeah, now you write the git minus version again to check if it is installed or not. Right? So now it is installed in your machine and
Wait,
just
not here, right? I'm
just
supposed to put it here.
yeah, just close this screen, close the git bash. You need yeah, you need to open the command prompt again. Just yeah, open it again. Open the command prompt. Yeah.
Doing.
Go to your search bar. Yeah, search bar. And write the git minus version again.
Like that, right?
Yeah. Okay. So now we have a git. So why we install it? What is the purpose of installing the git bash?
So that we can connect our GitHub cloud with our
Yes.
on-prem
Yes, definitely.
database of any type,
Yes,
where we
the
can sync
main
up content.
purpose to installing the Git bash in our local to inject our cloud repos, which is located in a GitHub, and push our local code into the Git repository by using the Git CLI, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Now let me share my screen and we are now going to go further. Okay, where is my screen shared with you right
Yeah.
now? Okay. Okay, now go to next step. So what we do, first of all, we check the GitHub, how to sign up and sign in, right? We
Mhm.
already done so. And after that, we set up the Git in our PC, right? Do you have a Visual Studio Code in your machine?
Do I have a virtual machine?
No, in your local machine, do you have this VS Code, Visual Studio?
VS4.
Yeah, VS Code. This is the cloud. This is the editor, right? Code editor that provides us the facility and write any type of the language code by using this editor, right? So it is really convenient if you install this editor in your machine. You can do it easily by going to the Visual Studio Code official website, and it is free. You can install it, right? Because we need some editor to edit our code or edit our infrastructure as code, or it also provides us the facility of terminal, right? So if you install it, it will be really good, right? You can install it after the lecture, right? So it
Okay.
is very easy. I will tell you how you can install it. You
Okay.
have to go install Visual Studio Code, right? So in this, you just have to click on this. Go to yeah, this one. Take download Visual Studio Code, and you just click on there, right? Windows 10 and 11. And after that, there is execution file is running, and you just click on this execution file, and then the setup is already doing, right? So that's the way you can download the Visual Studio Code. Let me share this link with you. Okay. So I am
Put it
just
in the
sharing
WhatsApp.
this link. WhatsApp. Okay. Okay, I will share after the class, right?
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Okay, after installing the Visual Studio Code, I already installed it. It is on my machine.
I don't have it. No. Do you want me to install it now?
Yeah, we can install now if you want. Hey, Rafi, hear me?
Hello.
Yeah, hear me. What you said?
I said I don't have that thing, virtual studio code. Do you want me to download it now?
So you want to install it right now? You can do it.
Hello?
Yeah. Hello.
Hello,
Hello.
hello, hello.
I can hear you, but I don't think so you can hear me. The other person is Abdul Hanan. Abdul Hanan, can you hear me?
Uh, yeah, I think he can. I think it's just mostly on my end. My internet is just really bad.
Yes, I can hear
Yeah.
you both.
Okay.
Okay.
Now. Okay,
Okay, if it
Rafi, I just
continues,
checked.
I will switch my internet. I have a mobile
Okay.
hotspot, but it's really bad sometimes. That's why I'm trying to stay on the main internet. But if it keeps happening, I'll switch to the hotspot.
Okay. So I just shared the link on our chat. You can click on that link and you can download directly from this link, right? So So just click on this link, and after just clicking the link, you have to just install it in your machine, and it take time. And meanwhile, we can do other things, right?
Ready desktop icon.
Your screen is not shared with me right now.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Should I check any of the other things or just leave it as it is?
Currently it is still not visible. Let me check again. Your screen is still not visible for me.
I think you have to stop sharing your screen.
Okay. I don't think so because before that I don't skip the sharing. Let me
You're
check
sharing yours
again.
right now.
It is still not visible from, yeah, okay, now started, okay. Now it is visible. Yeah, you just go to, okay, let me read this, create desktop icon, open with core, okay, go to next. Yeah, install. Okay, click on finish. Okay, now you have a Visual Studio Code in your machine, and now go further, right? Let me share my screen with you again. Okay, it is visible now.
Yeah.
Okay, now we have a Visual Studio Code in our machine, and now we have Window Git Bash, which is compulsory to interact with the GitHub, right? And we don't need the Mac terminal for it, and we already check the Git is installed or not in our machine by using the Git // version, right? Now go further. Okay, the second thing is that configuring Git in your local machine. This is the same. So do you have an account on the GitHub? You can check it by going to the same. Just go to github.com, right? And after that, click on sign in, and you can check if you have an account on GitHub, right? Go and check it.
Yes, I have one.
Okay, you have one.
Yes.
Now, okay. So the main thing is that after having an account, you have to set the credential in your local machine, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this why we can configure this Git credential in our local machine. So whenever we want to interact with the GitHub, we have to use this credential for it, right? So just write this command in your local machine. Let's pause git config. Let me open my command prompt, cmd, right? And after that, if I write this command, git config, right? Minus global user dot name, and after that you have to give the same username, which is the actual username of your Git, right? In my case, I have username with the Zan M3898, right? So I just set it, and after that you have to write the second command git config minus minus global. So basically we are setting up the global variables for our name and email. So we don't have to give again and again to the GitHub for interacting, right? So just write git user dot email, and after that you have to provide the same email that you use for your GitHub, right? That in my case I am using this ZanM3898 at the rate gmail.com, right? So this bunch of the username and email are going to be set at globally. And if I want to check it, just write git config minus minus list, right? So it gives you all of the configuration that I set. If you see here, I just set these two user.email ZNM3898 and user.name ZNM3898. You can do it by yourself. Go to your command prompt.
Okay.
Are you sharing your screen? Let me check.
Mm-hmm.
Your screen is. I think I have to skip my sharing. Just wait. Okay. Okay, yeah, now it is visible for me. Now go to your command prompt and write the git config. No, space git space config space minus minus, and you have to write the username. Let me tell you how you can write git config space minus minus global, and after that you have to write space user dot name and space user dot name space double quotation. Yeah, and in between double quotation you have to write your username of the GitHub, right? Which is used during the sign up of the GitHub. Yeah. So your username is, yeah, this one. Yes. Click enter. Okay, and now just press the up arrow of your keyboard, yeah, and just change in the command, instead of user dot name write email. Yeah, write your email git config minus minus global user dot email user dot email user dot email. Press the yeah, choose, yeah. If you want to go to this command again, you have to just click on the keyboard, the down key. Yeah, user dot email, write the user dot email. Yes, user dot email, and you have to change the email according to your user. Just skip the username and write your email here in double quotation. Yeah, the same email you used for your GitHub. You have to write the proper email like @gmail.com. Okay, click on enter. So if you want to check your global username or email are set up or not, you can check it by using the command git, right? Git config minus minus list. Yeah, just press enter. Now you can see very at the very end you see the user dot name and user dot email is set globally, right? So by setting the global variables, we don't need to set up again and again. So that's the purpose of that configuration. Now let me share my screen with you and go further.
Okay. So what we did just now is I didn't quite understand the whole like point of what we just
So,
did. We
we set up the three things right now. First of all, we set up our Git account, and after setting up the Git account, we install the Git in our local machine, right? And we check the version of the Git is installed or not, and then we are move forward to the editor, Visual Studio
Zion, you cut
Code.
out after you said that, and then we
Yeah, sorry.
hello,
Yeah. Hello,
hello. Mm,
hello.
hello.
Now you can hear me?
Yeah, let me switch to my Wi-Fi hotspot. 1 second.
Yeah, sure.
This is getting too
Please,
much trouble. 1 second.
please. Sure.
Hey man, 1 second. I'm trying to plug in my.
Okay. Take your time. No problem.
All right, switching Wi-Fi. 1 second.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, I'm on a different Wi-Fi now, so hopefully less interruption.
Yeah, okay. So we are discussing about what we have done so far. First of all, we make an account on GitHub. We already did, and then we install the Git bash to interact the GitHub with our local machine. So you must have a Git bash. We already done so far, and after that we install some editor in our machine. So we can able to interact with the GitHub, and then we can set our credentials at global level, right? Now
Yeah.
go further. Let me share my screen. Is my screen shared with you?
Yeah.
Okay. So we just setting up our global username. Now go move toward our main one and main commands. Now we are going to discussing about how we can create the repository on the GitHub, right? That
Right.
is the actual purpose of the GitHub, right? Because, and do you know what is the repository is?
Repository would be, the place where the code is
Mhm.
stored.
Yes, 100%. And it is something like a folder, right? Where your
Right.
different folders or different files are located, right?
Right.
But in the GitHub term, we say it repository, right?
Right.
Repository is actually your project name. Let's suppose I am working in a project with the name of XYZ, right? So you have to create the repository with that name. For example, if you can see my repositories, we let me go to my all repositories. Here you can see the some set of the repositories with the name of Voyom XYZ, Data Scanning, Athena, Amplify, Wide, Cloud Repo, Amplify, Wide, NXT Gen. So I always create the repository with the name of my project, right? And how you can create your first repository? You can go to this new button, right?
Yep.
So yeah, and after that, this is your username. So it tells you that you create your repository at your account with the username of this, right? So you have to give the repository name according to your project name. So currently we are doing training. So I just name it DevOps Rafi training. Your name is Rafi. Sorry, I pronounce it not maybe not correct. What's your actual name is?
It's Rafi.
It's Rafi. Sorry, Rafi. I called you earlier Rafi. Sorry for that.
No, that's fine. Same thing.
It's Rafi. Okay. Devos Rafi training, right? So I call this. And after that, you have to set either you want to create your repository public or a private, right? So in most of the cases, if we create the repository for the training or we create the repository for ourselves, then we mostly use the public one, right? Let's suppose if you want to show someone that I am working on this project, right? And they then they ask you, do you have any proof that you have worked on this project? Then you can show your repository here, right? And you can just share the link of that repository because it is a public repository. Public repository means everyone can access this repository, right? So they can see your repository and their code, so they are able to verify that you are working on this project, right? But always remember that in organization level or in a real life environment, we always use a private one, right? But for the
We always use
training
a
or
what?
we always use the private repository for the offices or the client projects, right? So always create the private for the client projects or for the company projects, right? But for
Right.
testing or for just for your portfolio, you have to set your public repositories, right? In which you can share or in which you can push your training code in it, and then you can share the repository link with the other person who can verify by just checking your repository that you have either working on this project or not, right?
Mhm.
So in that case, we are going to create the repository with the name of DevOps Rafi training, and this repository are going to be public. And the second one thing, initialize this repository with the add a readme file, right? So whenever you creating the repository on a GitHub, you have to add one file in it, right? So it must not be empty repository, right? So that's why
Right.
we add some readme file in it, right? So just click on add readme. And after that, just click on create repository, right? And when you click on this create repository, your repository are successfully created, right? So if you can see here, my repository name is devo slash rafi slash training. And here you can see that there is only one file is located, which I added earlier with the name of readme.md, right? And you can also see here, this is called branch, right? Here you can see the main, it is our branch, right? So whenever you created your repository, the one branch which automatically created by you by GitHub is the main, right? Before before this branch, GitHub named it master, but now GitHub named it main, right? So if you want to create a repository in also your local machine, you can do it, right? So we can go further.
Got it. Okay.
Just do it.
Okay. Can you stop sharing your screen?
Okay. Okay, do it. Go to up. Go to Rafi Chaudhary 1200. Yes. And click on sign in. I think you don't sign in right now. No, just click on here, sign, yeah. And upper, in the top, yeah, this sign in. If you don't remember the credential, you can see your credential by going to the Google settings, right? Going, if you want to change it, you can.
What?
Okay, it says you have to set the stronger password and don't, yeah. Now you can, you are able to sign in. Okay, now you have a button with the name of new.
Hold on one second.
Yeah. Now you have to create the repository, your first repository, you just click on new button. Yeah, this one. And you have to name your repository according to your project name. So currently we have no project, you can write the DevOps training, right? A meaningful name for. Click on repository name, yeah, and set the DevOps training because you are doing training of the DevOps.
Like that?
Yeah, same, yeah. And
Or
after
should
that
I,
you have,
does it automatically put a space between my,
don't put the space. You always remember that it is a good practice to use the repository name in always lowercase. Okay, don't use or write the uppercase letter in the repository name, and don't use the space for it. Right, always use the slash button. Right. So what is the purpose of not adding the space? Because if you can share someone your repository, and if he want to clone your repository in his local machine, then it is confusing if you add one space, two space, or maybe three space. So that's why. So it is always good practice to make your repository name in lowercase and always adding the slash instead of space, right? So always remember that. And just go down and click on public and then initialize repository file by just clicking on add a readme file, right? Yeah, you can write the description. This is DevOps training classes with yeah, public, and click on add a readme file, yeah, and just go down and click on create repository, right? So now your first repository is created. You can see the readme.md file is located here, and currently you are in main branch, right? And click on this main. You see you only have one branch which is automatically created by GitHub, right? So
Yep.
currently you don't have any type of branch.
Right.
Now let's discuss other concept, right? So
Okay.
let me share my screen. Now the other things now I am going to do is your assignment. You have to do it by yourself, right? So you just need to follow my steps in your assignment and your assignment will be completed, right? So let's discuss the other
I will
thing.
realistically,
So
I will probably have to do the assignment in class because outside of class, I have almost like no time, unfortunately.
okay.
But
So you
I'll
don't
do
have
it.
time
It's
for
just
the
like we may have to
assignment.
do it during class, like next
Okay.
class or whenever you want me to do it.
Okay. So we have a DevOps Graphy training repository, and currently we are in main branch and we have readmd.file. Okay.
Mhm.
Now this repository is located on GitHub, right? In my cloud account of GitHub. Now I want this repository in my local machine, right?
Mhm.
Because let's suppose I created some of the files in my local machine. Let's suppose let me open my folder, right? And let's suppose I want to push this type of the file, maybe DevOps training plan outline, this or these files into my repository, right? Now these files are located in my local machine. Now I want to push this file into that repository, right? Then how I can do it? So first of all, always remember that your repository is located in GitHub Cloud, right? So you have to clone this repository in your local machine, right? Means that means these repository are currently not accessible by your local machine. So to make it accessible, you have to clone it in your local machine, right? Do you know what does it mean by clone? Clone means just copy, right? Just copy this repository in your local machine. And how you can do it? There is a git command for it, right? And what is the command we can use to clone this repository? Just click on this code button, right? And just click on this copy URL to click on, right? Just click on it. And after that, you have to go your CLI command prompt, right? And you can let me close this command prompt for, right? So whenever you want to clone this repository in your local machine, you just go to code and click on HTTPS URL. So this is basically our repository URL. Because our repository is public, so we can easily clone this repository in my local machine, right? So go to the folder where you want to clone it, right? So if I want to clone it in my Windows C, users, Lenovo, and in repository folder. Okay, so I created the repository folder in my local machine by myself. You can also create it with repository, so you have always remember that you have all the GitHub repository in my local machine. So this is whole repositories that I created so far in 2024 in my GitHub account, right? And all of these repository are cloned by GitHub, right? So if you want to add another repository, GitHub repository in your local machine, then how you can do it? Rafi, do you hear me?
Yeah, I'm listening to you. I do have several questions about this actually.
Okay, so please ask.
So the first question is basically what's happening is as you're making your own machine is where you're maintaining the most updated version of whatever. And when you're
Mhm.
pushing this code out to when you're uploading these files to GitHub, you're able to maintain a version of it each time,
Yeah,
right? It's storing as versions 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., whatever. So
yes.
instead of doing it that way, is there any way to make it to where it works similar to Microsoft OneDrive, where any changes you make to the files, either locally or to the cloud, to the code, right, automatically gets updated in both places at the same time? Is that possible?
For what service you name for it? Microsoft?
I use OneDrive as an example, right? Like, let's just say I have
Okay,
a
OneDrive
machine.
like a Google Drive. Like a
Yeah,
Google.
Google Drive, as
Okay,
if it's
okay,
shared in that
let
shared
me
drive,
differentiate it.
any
Let me
changes you make to the
differentiate.
local file all
Let
gets updated in the cloud as well.
So always remember that the drive storage are always for the some for the files, and it is not usually used for the codes, right? Application code. So we always use the GitHub repository for our application codes or some other stuff, right? Because in GitHub we have more facilities that we are going to be discussing in our lecture, like cloning the repository pull request by generating the pull request in repository and back to the previous version. In Google Drive, you are not going to back to your previous version. Always remember that, right? So GitHub is also you can the multiple people can work on the same project or same repository at a time by creating the different branch. That the concept of branching we can discuss in that class. So that's why the GitHub is totally different from your Drive. Drive is only used for uploading the main or maybe your daily life files, but the repository, GitHub repository is always used for your application code, right? So you have to always push your application code in the GitHub repository, not your local folders, right? This is not the purpose of creating the GitHub repository. The only purpose of creating the GitHub repository to push your application code in there, right? So the other developer, if other developers can working on this project, they can easily access this repo and also push their code on their side of it, right? And your manager can be able to see this code and also make some changes in that code by creating the other branch and also give you some commits related to your code. So that's why we're creating the GitHub, right?
Mm.
So currently, what we can do so far, currently we are just creating the repository in GitHub, and now we are cloning into my local machine. So you have to go to the some folder in your local machine where you want to clone it, right? So I want to clone it in that folder. Just open this folder in command prompt, right? So currently I am in my C user Lenovo repository folder of my local machine, right? Now I want to clone this GitHub repository in that folder, right? Currently, if you can see that there are a lot of repository here, but the repository which I created just now with the name of DevOps Rafi training is not currently there, right? So how we can do it, how we can clone it, we just copy this command, right? And after that, go to that folder where you want to clone it and write git clone, right? So this is the GitHub command to clone your GitHub repository into your local machine, right? After that, you just paste the same HTTPS text which you copy earlier, right? So after pressing the enter, it's going to be clone this cloud repository in my local machine, right? So it says 100% completed. That means my GitHub repository is successfully are now in my folder, right? So let's check and look for it. Where is DevOps Rafi?
Then can you give me like 1 minute? I need to take a quick break to get a cup of tea real quick. I'm a little sleepy, so let me just get the tea so I can wake up.
Okay, and how much time you will take?
Like just like 1 or 2 minutes. I'll be right back.
Sure, Rafi.
Okay, thanks. Hey, Zain.
Yes, Rafi.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so I'm talking about currently, if you can see here, in our repository folder, we have now the same GitHub repository that we created earlier, right? So if I am going to this folder, you see the read.md file, same, which is located in our GitHub account, is now
Yes.
located in my local machine now. Now, if I want to push my own code in the repository, I can easily do it, right? If I want to create some file in that repository, I can easily do it. And after creating some file in that repository, these files are stored in my local machine, but you have to push your changes into GitHub, right? So we are going to discuss about it, right? So currently I am in my repository with the name of DevOps Rafi training, which I just copy or clone earlier, right? Now you want to make some changes in that repository, like you have to add some your code files in it, right? So you have to open this uh repository in the editor, right? So you are able to edit the some files in it, right? So how you can open this repository in your Visual Studio Code? Do you know the process? It is really easy. You just click on this, right? First of all, you have to go to your DevOps training folder, and after that you just click on it, and after that cmd just open command prompt, and your command prompt will be open at the end up of your repository, and you just need to write the code space dot, right, and press enter. Now it will open the Visual Studio Code, right? This is the CLI way to open the Visual Studio Code.
Okay.
And now you can see this is the same repository with the name of DevOps Rafi training, right? This is the same GitHub repository which we cloned earlier. Now we just open it in my Visual Studio Code editor, right? Now, if I want to add some file in that repository, you can created it by clicking on new file, right? And name it index.html, right? So you know very well index.html, basically the HTML file which is used for the front end, right? We are not going to do any code in it. We just write some random code here, B1, and write the paragraph, right? So I just write the index.html file, new file in my GitHub repository. Now you can see that these files are going to be green, right? So that's the power of Visual Studio Code Editor. It automatically detects your GitHub repository, and whenever you add or remove the file in the repository, Visual Studio Code automatically gives you some message like this. In that case, he gives me message that the index.html file is untracked. Untracked means this file is currently not located in DevOps Rafi training repository, which is located on GitHub, right? Because we just created this file in my local machine, but you just need to have push your changes to reflect on the GitHub repository, right? So currently, I just created the
Okay, so I have
index.html.
I have a question, Zain, one second.
Yeah,
Sorry.
sure.
So from the command prompt, how did we get to this? You just basically cleared out the file name with the command prompt. Then what did you do in the command prompt to get to the Visual Studio? You just put the code, you put visual or something like that, right? Code, etc., which opened up
So
this Visual Code Studio.
please share your screen now.
Okay.
That do it by yourself, so you will be
Yeah,
understanding
I
it.
think everything like this that you show me, let me do it by myself, right?
Yeah,
You
sure.
ask me questions because I think that's important for
Yeah,
me to
yeah,
make sure I'm
100%.
understanding it. You know, to do a knowledge check constantly with me.
Yeah, sure.
Because something I think sometimes I think I understand it, but really I don't.
Yeah, currently your screen is not shared with me. Let me minimize my one.
Sharing now. Can you see it now?
Yeah, I can see. So can you tell me that what you're doing so far right now?
Right now, we are basically, we have code that we have in our local machine, which
No,
we copied, or sorry, copied the code from the cloud
no,
GitHub
not in my
repo.
machine. Not in my machine, in your machine. Currently, you have only a repository which is located on GitHub, right? With the name of
Right.
DevOps training. So, what the next step is?
I then copied that code into my machine.
No, not that code. Copy the repository in your location.
Sorry.
This
Yeah,
is
yeah,
the
the
repository.
files. Right.
Yeah, this is the repository with the name of DevOps training. It is currently located on a GitHub, right?
Mm.
Now you have to clone or copy this repository into your local machine. And what is the purpose of cloning this repository into your local machine?
So that you can work on it on your local machine and then
Yeah,
make
and
changes and then upload it again.
you can add some your application code in it, or you can create some new files in it, right? And after creating that file, you have to push that changes in that GitHub repository again, right? But for cloning it, what is the process of cloning this repository in my local machine? Let's do it. How you can do it?
Can I clone it?
Be easy, don't worry. Just remember what step I follow.
First, you went to the GitHub, so you got this.
Yeah, and you have to
You got this.
clone or copy your GitHub repository URL. Okay, so you just copy it, and after that you have to go to that folder where you want to copy it, right? If you don't want to copy this repository in Rafi folder, you should not do it. You have to first of all select where you want. You have to select that folder where you want to clone it, right? So go to your folders and just select where you want to clone it. You can go to your by using your desktop, maybe in download folder, maybe in other folder. So it is better if you create a new folder with the name of Zen GitHub repos. Yeah, you can create just GitHub repos. Just exclude the name of Zen. Exclude the name of Zen because this is your own DevOps GitHub repository, right? And we always name it really meaningful name. Yes. So this is the folder we just created in our local machine. Now you want to clone it, your actual repo in that folder. So how you can do it? So first of all, you have to go into the folder. Go into that folder by just clicking on it. Yeah, now you are currently in that folder, right? This folder is empty right now, right? So now I want to clone my actual repo which I created earlier in GitHub. You want to clone it in that folder, right? So how you can clone it? Go to your command prompt. Yeah, just write. No, don't write the command. Just write CMD. The short form of open the command prompt through your local machine is just write CMD, right? So here you can open the CMD. CMD means command prompt. So if you remember, you created the DevOps GitHub repository. So now you want to clone your actual repo in that folder. So how you can do it? What is the command used for it? Git, git. Come on, write git and clone. No, clone. Yeah, and after that you just need to paste. No, not try to, yeah, and just click enter. So, so it says 100%. Now your GitHub repository are successfully cloned, or we can say copy into that folder, right? So just verify. There are two ways to verify it. You can write the dir here. Dir is a short command to check the directories in current folder you have. Yeah, just press enter. So it says you have one directory with the name of devo/training, right? This is the same repository which is located in your GitHub account, right? And you can also verify it by, you can minimize your command prompt. Please minimize. Yeah, here you can see that this repository are now located, right? And the same readme mp file is located in my this. Yeah. Now we are going to just close this. Yeah. Now we are just cloning our repository in my local machine. Now the next step is to make some changes in that repository, or maybe we need to some add our code files in that repository. Then we have how we can do it. There are still two ways to do it. You can also create the files by just clicking on press on right key of your mouse and create the new file. But the best way to add some changes in your repository and add the new files by using your Visual Studio Code Editor, right? So you have to open this repository in your Visual Studio Code Editor. Let's do it. How you can open it? Not this file. Not this file. I am talking about uh, the repository, right? You have
This
to
one?
open this repository in your Visual Studio Code Editor.
This whole folder?
Yeah, this folder. You have to open this folder into your Visual Studio Code. Yeah, open. Open with you don't have an option. Yeah, wait. If you don't find an option, those use the same way which I used earlier. Okay, go to
What
DevOps
did you do?
training
I forgot.
folder. Go to DevOps training folder. Click on it. Yeah. Now go to your open this folder in CMD. I think you open it already.
Open which one?
Open this folder in your command prompt. How you can do it? Just close all the command prompts right now. Close this. Now open this folder in your command prompt. No, open the DevOps training folder. So you have to go the DevOps training folder. Yeah, and just click on it at the end of the DevOps training. Yeah, go down, go up, just go to this repository again. Click on the DevOps training. No, click on the DevOps training folder. Yeah, this one. Yeah. Just open it. Okay, and now go to your up part, desktop DevOps GitHub repository, and click on very next to DevOps training. Move your cursor to the DevOps training. Yeah, and just you have to select this text. Just press 3 times your mouse button here, or 1 time maybe 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you have
I'm
to
trying to
select this
copy this
folder.
whole thing.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can select this by. Okay, you don't copy it. You just now need to write the CMD here. CMD, write CMD and press enter. Now this folder or this repository is open in my command prompt. Now I want to open it in Visual Studio Code Editor. So how you can do it? You can write the command to open the Visual Studio Code Editor, which is really simple one. Code, write code, space dot. So this command is basically open the Visual Studio Code Editor. Dot means current directory, like so currently you have in the DevOps training repository, and you want to open it in your Visual Studio Code, so you write the code space dot, write the dot, single dot, single dot, not a minus, single dot, yeah, and just press enter. So here you can see that this repository are now open in my Visual Studio Code. Just click on no, I don't trust the authors. Sorry, yeah, no, I don't trust. Do you click on it? Yeah, click on it. Okay, now go to your click on read me.md file. Yeah. So currently we are now in DevOps training repository and we have only one file is here right now, right? Now you want to create or add some other file in that particular repository, right? So how we can create the new files in it? Here you can see the plus button very next to DevOps training. Icon button. Yeah, this one. This file, yeah, just press on it. And you can create any of the file according to your application. Maybe you can create the JavaScript file, Python file. So for a demo, we can create the index.html file, right? So we can add any type of the file in our repository, right? So just create it maybe file.txt file just for testing,
Click what? I'm
right?
sorry. Right, what?
File.txt file, any file. You can name it any type of the file, right? And press enter. Now this file is created and add some random text in it. Yeah. So can you tell me that what we can do so far right now?
So far, we have
You have to give me steps between creating the GitHub repository and end of this creating the file. So you have to give me all steps. So what? Yeah.
uh, well, we first took, repository from our GitHub, and we then copied that to our our local folder
Yes.
on our computer.
Yes.
Then we opened that folder with Visual Data Studio.
And what is the command we use to clone it into our local machine?
Well,
Do
we
you
just put
remember the
command,
command?
and then we put in
What is the command?
we
Git
put
clone.
in
Always remember that. Whenever
git
you want to
space,
clone, CLONE, right?
git
So this is the
clone.
command we use to clone the repository which is located on GitHub into our local machine, right?
Right.
So whenever you create the new repository and you want to clone it in your local machine, you can use the same command git clone, right? And after that git clone, you will just need to paste the your repository URL which you copied earlier, right? And
Right.
after cloning the repository, you want to some add files in it, right? So we can add this file directly by going to that folder, or other way is to adding the file by open this into the Visual Studio Code, right? Visual Studio Code is nothing. Visual Studio Code is just an editor, right? Like we have Notepad or some other else, but Visual Studio Code is something that used for your applications there, and by using the Visual Studio Code, you had done many tasks. Like we can create the Python files, we can create the text file, we can create the HTML files, and we also have some type of the packages that we install in it, and and we also have a terminal page. So that's why we use the Visual Studio Code for our repositories, right? So currently we add the file.txt file in my repository, right? So in my DevOps training repo has new file with the name of file.txt, right?
Mhm.
So this file is currently located at what?
This file is currently what?
This file is currently located at what? You have to answer.
Right now it's located
Yeah,
on my computer, on the
yeah.
desktop.
In your computer, not in your desktop, in your desk, C user Rafi, and just check the full path where your repository is located. You can minimize it, yeah.
Right
C
here.
user Rafi, OneDrive desktop and DevOps GitHub folder repository, and in this folder you clone this repo DevOps training. So currently, your repository is located here, right?
Yes.
So you added the one only file with the name of file.txt here, right? So go to your GitHub and check this file is coming or not in your GitHub account, which you created just now, file.txt.
Uh,
Go to
so
GitHub.
basically, is this Visual Studio, what is this thing called again?
I just said you created the file.txt file, right?
Yeah, I know that. What is this
In
thing called
that
right here?
in that repository. Just think the repository is just a folder, right? You have a folder with the name of DevOps training and you add just a new file with the name of file.txt, right? So DevOps training is actually our GitHub repository, which we cloned earlier, right? So just we need to check the file we just created with the name of file.txt is also located on GitHub account or not, right? Go to your GitHub and go to your repository which you created earlier with the name of DevOps training and check this file.txt file is located here or not.
Okay, so my first question to you would be, what is this one called again? This thing.
This is the Visual Studio Code editor and the folder, and this folder is and we open our GitHub repo in the Visual Studio
Does
Code
this Visual
and
Studio Code thing basically act as a
editor
as a
where you
connector
can
between?
no, it is not a connector between your GitHub or local. I am just saying you need to check either your file.txt file is located here or not. So it is definitely not located here. Just refresh it. Yeah. So the file.txt file you created earlier is not here. Why? Because you created in your local machine, right? So you just need to push your changes into that repository, right? So how you can do it? So we can do it by just going to our Visual Studio Code again. Go to Visual Studio Code editor. Yeah. And now we are just creating the file.txt file in that repository. And this file is located currently in my local repository GitHub repo, right? But it is not located in the GitHub actually. So how we can push this file or any of the file into the GitHub repository? So we can do it by using the git command, right? So open the terminal. You can open the terminal on the Visual Studio Code editor by clicking on three dots at the very first line. Go to Visual Studio Code and open the terminal by clicking on first selection, yeah, three dots, yeah. Terminal, new terminal, yeah. So it will open the terminal. So you just trust folder and continue. Trust folder and continue. Okay. Now the terminal is open, right? And now we are going to push our changes into our actual GitHub accounts or GitHub repo, right? So how we can do it? So first of all, we need to check what we had made changes so far in that repository, right? So DevOps training is my GitHub repository. And if you want to check what type of the changes you made in that repository, you can check by using the command with the name of git status. So let's do it. Right, go to your terminal. No, this term you can also check by using this terminal and also by using the VS Studio Code terminal. So we are currently no. This is your file. This is not your terminal. Your terminal is located at the lower side. At lower side, go down. Yeah, this one. Yeah. So this is you need to check what file you have added in the repository. You can check it by Git status because this is the Git repository. So the Git commands are activate for this, right? So write Git space status.
Git space what? I'm sorry.
Status. STATUS. Yeah. Press enter. Yeah. So it says you are currently in main branch, right? And you add some file with the name of file.txt, right? And it says this file is untracked file. Untracked file means this file is not located in your GitHub repository, right? So we need to add this file into our GitHub repository, right? So how we can do it? So there are 3 steps to push your local file into the GitHub repository, right? First of all, you have to add it, and then you have to commit it, and in the last step, you have to push it, right? So first of all, we have to add this file into the repository, right? So write the command git, write it on the terminal.
Here? No.
On terminal, yeah. Git add
At?
space add
Like the at
add
symbol?
double D add.
Oh, add.
Yeah, add space, and you have to name the file which you want to add. readme.md file is already located in your GitHub account. You don't need to add again, right? You added the new file with the name of file.txt, right? And you want to push this file into your GitHub repository. So you first have to add it, right? So this is the command you can use to add it. So just write the git add and after that space and after that you have to give the file name. What is your file name? File.txt. Git add file.txt. Yes, press enter.
So
Okay. Now
I'm
our
kind of
file
confused
is
actually what exactly we're
yeah.
doing here right
Yeah,
now.
I know it is really new for you, that's why.
We're
But
testing to see, we're using this terminal here in the Visual Studio.
we can also use any other terminal. If you go to your command prompt, go to your command prompt. Command prompt, yeah, and write the git status here. It gives you the same result where the VS Studio Code editor gives you. Write the git space status and press enter. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm sorry. Repeat that one more time.
Yeah, I said you just need to write the same command git status here.
Status.
Git status. Yeah, so this is a file you just need to add it, right? You add this file in your repository and you can write any of the command in any terminal. That doesn't matter, right? You can also use your VS Studio terminal and you can also use your command prompt terminal for it, right? But you must be located into your the same folder like we are currently in DevOps training folder, right? So you must have to be in the folder to write this command, right? So currently, what we are going to do, we need to push this file.txt file into our GitHub account, right? So for the purpose of this, we run the git add file.txt command, and after that we need to write the commit command, right? Commit means it now git track your version or track your overall file and save the changes into their storage, right? So write the git commit. You can write this command either in your command prompt or either in your Visual Studio Code, doesn't matter, but you must be in the same GitHub repository folder for it, right? If you can see that in the command prompt, you are in the same folder DevOps training, and in the Visual Studio Code, you also have the same folder with the name of DevOps training, right? So write the git commit -m. -m means not space, yeah. -m means message. Now, actually, you add this file with the name of file.txt in that repository, and now you are committing it. Committing means you save this file into the Git story, right? And whenever you do some commit, you have to write some meaningful message for it, right? So in git commit -m, write space, and now you have to write the text for your commit. Add double quotation, and in double quotation you have to add some text, meaningful text. So what changes you have done so far in the repository? What type of the changes you had done right now? You are you
Made
had you had creating a
a file or file.
no, you had just only creating a file.txt file, not a readme file. Readme file is already created by GitHub. If you remember when we created the GitHub repository, right?
Right.
So you can write the commit here, added the file.txt file in my GitHub repository. File.txt, yeah, text file. We can say the .text file in my GitHub repository, right? This is just simply a commit, right? We add for our commit. Now press enter. Okay, so it says your commit are added. So whenever we write this command with the name of git commit, it actually store our overall code into the GitHub GitHub memory, right? Now after committing, we need to push these changes into our GitHub repository where it's located in on our GitHub account, right? If you go to your GitHub account again and refresh it, go to your GitHub account, and currently this file.txt file is not located here. Why? Because we need to push our changes from local to main. Okay, so now go to your command prompt again. Go to command prompt again. Yeah, this one. And now we need to write the push command to push our local changes into the GitHub repository, right? So to push changes from local to GitHub repository, we can use the git push command, right? Git push. Don't write the command git push and just press enter. So whenever you push first time, it won't this as for it. Just click on sign in with your browser and just click on authorize Git ecosystem. Yes.
Refresh.
Yeah. Now go to your CMD again. I think he will be able now to access it. Go to CMD again. It automatically, I think, authorized it. Go to CMD. Yeah, it already pushed. If you remember, your git push command are successfully done, right? If you run the git push again, it says you already pushed. Write the again git push and press enter. Yeah, it says everything uploaded. It means our file which is added in our local repository is now pushed into our GitHub Cloud repository. Let's verify. Yeah, yeah, go to your GitHub. Not this. This is the authorization. Yeah, refresh it. Here you can see that a new file with the name of file.txt which you created in your local machine is now residing in your GitHub account. So this is the way how we can add any type of the files folder into our GitHub repository, right? So the what commands we are utilize for it, could you please
Hello?
so hello,
Yeah,
can you
yeah.
hear
Sorry.
me?
I'm sorry. I had to, my phone restarted, so I switched internet again. I'm back.
Okay, so file.txt file is now located in my GitHub repo, right? Which we created earlier in our local machine, right? And the
Yeah.
what command we are follow so far to push our changes into GitHub repo? Do you know the sequence of the command?
Ah, Um,
So let's do it again. Add another file, right? Go to your local folder. Not from this. Your local machine to this. Yeah, we already opened this repository in Visual Studio Code Editor, right?
right.
So just open the Visual Studio Code Editor and just add the new files in it. How you can add the files in it? You can create it. Let's suppose if I don't want to create a new file, right? I want to add some files which I created earlier so far or already located in my machine. Let's suppose uh, you have just fetch any type of the file which is located in your local machine folder and you want to push that file into your repo. Just go to your folder and select any type of the file you want to copy. Maybe it is PDF, maybe it is some application code, anything else. You want to push, yeah, this SQL, okay. So you can copy this folder all if you want to copy this all of the data, right? Copy this folder. Yeah, after this, press the Control C only. Control C, copy. No, Control C just. Okay, now it is copied and we need to paste it into our repository. Go and paste this folder into the repository. We cannot paste directly. Yeah, just paste it here. So we added a new folder in our repository with the name of SQL, right? And if you can click on the SQL folder, there are 3 files located, right? Click on the SQL folder. So this is the file which is in the SQL folder, right? And we add the SQL folder and 3 files in our DevOps training repository, right? But this file is currently not located in my GitHub repo, right? If you can refresh, go to your GitHub account and refresh your repository. Refresh it. So do you see any SQL folder here?
Nope, because we haven't pushed
No.
this to the,
Yeah, we need to push our local changes into GitHub by using the command. So what the first command we need to run for it?
we need to go to the visual thing, right? Visual Studio.
Yeah, go to Visual Studio Code, or maybe you can open any terminal. Maybe you can use your command prompt or any terminal, right? So what the first command you need to run? Always remember the sequence of this command, right? I will also share the sequence of this command with you, right? So first of all, you need to write the add command, git add, because we need to specify the folder name which we created earlier, right? So you can instead of specify, no, just wait for it. So you need to specify the whole of the file names, like you add the SQL folder and problem queue, SQL web. So instead of writing the names of one by one files, you can just write git add dot. Dot means whatever changes in that repository are going to add in your GitHub, right? So just run this command. And now if you want to check our files are added or not, so just write the git status, right? So git status command is actually used to check what we have done so far in our repository, right? So it says you added the three new files, right? In your SQL folder. One is sql.md, one is problem queues, and third one is web marketing, right? So there are three files are added in my repository. Okay, and after writing the git add command, now what is the second command we are going to run? Come on, remember that.
Um,
Come on,
the
git commit. Okay,
yeah.
and git commit. After that, you have to write the message space -m and double quotation -m double quotation and write some meaningful message. So what you write down the message here, you added the SQL database folder into your GitHub repository, right?
Mhm.
Double quotation closed and press enter. Now again check the git status. So basically the commit command is actually doing, it saved our version of code, right? So whatever you changes in your currently in your local machine, it saves the changes, right? So after you just need to check git status, right? Git status to check the current status of our repo. So it says we have created the three files, but this file is currently not located in your origin. Origin means your actual GitHub repo, which is located on cloud, right? Which is currently don't have any type of the changes in it, right? So push changes into your cloud GitHub repo, cloud repo. So you need to run the what command? Git, come on, what? Come on, push, yeah. Just press enter. So now it is successfully pushed. Now refresh it and check your SQL folder is located here or not. Not this one. Yeah, this one. Go to SQL folder and check the three of the files are located or not. Yeah. So these files which is located in your machine are now in your GitHub repository, right? So if you want to share this code with someone, you can just copy this URL and give this URL to any of your friend, any of your teacher, so they are able to assess or just check your code, right? So so this is the basic commands which we utilize to push our changes into local to GitHub repository, right? So
Mhm.
could you please give me the sequence of the command we used so far? Come on. So you have to remember it, Rafi. It is very important. Once you do one or two or three time hands-on, it is going to be really easy for you, right?
Right.
At the first, it would I know it is something difficult for the first time, but whenever you use it daily in your life, believe me, it is really easy, right? So whenever we are going to create the infrastructure as code, we are going to utilize the GitHub for it. So we will be master of it. We don't need to worry about it, right? So just give me the sequence of the command we have done so far.
Okay. We first check the status.
What is the purpose of check the status? What does it means?
It means
Open,
that we are trying to,
open the notepad so you can write the file here and save this command, right? Open any notepad file and write the command to for your use, right? So you know the sequence per type of the command you are utilized so far. So first of all, we utilize git clone command, right? To clone the repository from GitHub account to local repository, right? Just open the notepad. This is notepad. Okay. Don't need to sign in if you want to sign in. No need to
No,
sign in. You
same.
can write just search again notepad.
Mm-hmm.
Just search, go to search bar, write notepad.
This is what I'd use to take notes on, OneNote.
Okay, why not? Okay. So you can name it GitHub commands. Right. Okay. So first of all, we run the git clone command, right? Write the git clone. G must be in lowercase. Everything is in lowercase. And after that you add the space, and after that you just need to add the URL of your repository, GitHub repository. So you can add just the flag of
The whole thing, or where?
DevOps. Go to your DevOps training laptop, yeah, and go to code, no, this one, go to code here on the right side blue button, yeah, and copy this URL, yeah. So what is the purpose? Or not write the minus after the clone. Yeah. So what is the purpose of this command?
To clone the repository from the web GitHub to the local
Yes.
one,
Yes. Excellent.
local folder.
And yes, excellent. And now after that, what command we are used?
Um,
If you
status.
remember, after cloning the repository, we move into the repository, right? And after moving into the repository, we add some files in the repository, right? And after adding the file, we check the status of our repository, right? So
Right.
you can check the status of your repository by using the git status command. Right here, git space status. Git space status. So this is the command used for checking the what type of the changes you have made in your repository, like, right? And after that, what command you are
What is the command? This is the command, right?
yeah, this is the only command for checking the state. After that, after adding the file, you need to push your changes into the GitHub account, right? So, what the command of pushing this change? No. First of all, we need to follow the sequence, right? First of all, to push our local changes into the GitHub repository, we need to run first which command? Git add, right? Git add, and we just add the dot, right? Git add dot means anything I made changes in this repository, just add it, right? And after write this command, we write what command? Come on.
Push.
No. Remember.
Um,
Commit.
oh, commit the changes.
Yeah. Commit means, what does it mean by commit?
Means like we are finalizing the changes that we made.
Yeah, before pushing, we are actually finalizing the changes that we have done so far. And whenever we run this command, the GitHub actually store your code into their GitHub memory, right? So that's why how it stored the version, right? So git commit minus m mean message. So whenever you're doing commit, you write the meaningful message for it. If you remember, whenever doing our first commit, we add the message, we added the file.txt file, and when we done the second commit, we added the message that we added the SQL folder, right? So in that case, you just need to write the git commit space minus m and space double quotation, and you write the some message here. Just type the message. Any message, write any message, yeah, your message, commit message, yeah. And in the end, after committing, we need to run the git push command. So this is the total command we have done so far. And also we have more commands that we are going to explore in our next lecture, like how we can create the branch, how we can merge the branch, how we can create a pull request. All of that stuff we are going to discuss in our next lecture. So you have to remember this command and the whole process we have done so far in this lecture. Hopefully, I know it is new for you, but you will be really it will be really easy for you when you are doing practice for it. And always try to remember this command. Just give your 5 minutes after the lecture and remember these commands, right? So you
Okay.
can easily remember it. So I think we got run out of time. It almost 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, man. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. I think this was a good overview. Like you said, yeah, I need as we start doing it more.
Yeah, we
Just do
have
it.
done so far, just giving you go through. First of all, we discuss in today's lecture what is AWS, and you can also hear the recording after that if you have any type of the confusion, right? So what we have done so far, first of all, we discuss about the what is AWS and what is DevOps, right? I will share the slide with you, right? And you can also go through these slides, right? And after that, we are discussing about the Git. And first of all, we made a GitHub account. You already had a GitHub account. And after sign up or signing into the GitHub account, we install the Git bash. And what is the purpose of installing the Git bash? Is to
Uh, so that we could.
interact with GitHub to our local, right?
So that's basically the connector app. Is that?
Yeah, connector. Yeah, that Git bash is actually the connector app that connect our local to GitHub, right?
Got it.
And after that, we install the Visual Studio Code Editor, right? VS Code. And what is the purpose of it?
What is the purpose of the which one?
VS
Sorry.
Code, Visual Studio Code Editor, which we installed.
We use that to basically commit the changes in the code that we
No,
made.
no. It is just an editor. It is just an editor that is used to adding a file, creating a file, or changes in a file, right? It is just an editor, like
Okay.
a notepad or like some other editor, right? but it is our editor which have lot of functionalities. Like we can
Out of what? I'm sorry.
lot of functionalities, right?
Okay,
We
functionality.
can create a Python file in it, we can create a JavaScript file in it, we can create a YAML file or simple files, any type of the file you can create in the VS Studio Code. That is the purpose of it. And it also provides us the terminal, right, which is very easy for us. And after installing the VS Studio Code editor, we create the repository on the GitHub. Remember that? And after creating the repository on GitHub, we come on.
After we created the repository, we after we created the repository, where on the web or
On the
local?
GitHub, yeah, on web.
Then we cloned it to the local
And why we clone it?
so that we can make changes to it and add things to it, edit it,
Yes,
etc.
because this repository is located on GitHub and we want to make some changes in it to our local. So that's why we clone it into our
So
local.
that would be
right?
an example of this would be like, say I have a WordPress website already up. I want to make some changes
Yes.
to it, but I don't want to take the website down and do things to it live. So I download a version of it on my local and make the changes to the
No.
code and then push the code
Basically,
out.
let's suppose you have already WordPress website and you all of that files code in currently located in your local machine, right? And you want to push this code for the other person into your GitHub, right? So how you can do it? You can create the repository first in GitHub account, and after creating the GitHub repository, you clone it. And after cloning the repository, you just need to add this WordPress file into that repository, right? Just
Mhm.
just before we add the SQL folder in our repository, right? Same as that. And after adding the file, we run the git add command, right? To add this file into the repository. And after that, we write the git commit command to save the version of this file, right? And in the end, we write the git push command to push our local changes into the GitHub repository.
Okay.
So yeah, that's all for today's lecture. We spent much time on this lecture because it's new.
Yeah, thanks, man. It was very helpful. I try to keep up with
Yeah,
it, but some of it I
you will
definitely
be
did not
master of
understand,
it
but
if you
hopefully.
can give you 1 hour for it. It would be maximum. So try to give time to this training. Hopefully, you will be master of it, right?
Okay, sounds good, man. Do you wanna
So please remember all of that